Hey guys, and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're here for the first time, my name is Anne, and if you have been here already, welcome back. For today's video, I'm gonna do a very highly requested video. I think it's almost my most requested video, and it's a video where I show you guys my favorite brushes. I think during the years that I'm doing YouTube, there are some brushes which I use since the beginning, which I still really like, but also during the years I started using new brushes which I like more than the ones I used earlier. So I just felt like I had to do a updated favorite brushes video where I just show you guys my favorite ones. I've also done a video like this I think around 2 years ago, but I just feel like I'm using some new brushes right now, so I think it was about time to do a new video. So the first thing I want to do is show you guys how I store my brushes. So I have this giant thing right here where I have all my eye brushes in and some of my face brushes. The rest of my face brushes, I have them in a jar right here, but those are like my favorite ones. These are clear baskets from ZOEVA. Not really sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but I have 4 of them, and I use some sticky tape, which you can see right here, to kind of stick them against each other so they kind of stay together. So those are 4, and I made like this giant brush holder by using those 4, and I'm so happy with it. I think it looks so amazing. This way I can kind of put all my brushes in categories like tiny brushes, big brushes, eyeliner brushes. I'm just so happy with it. I will put a link in the description bar. I would definitely recommend these ones. They're clear, so it looks really organized, really clean. Normally I have them over there, but now because I have to film and grab them to show you guys, I'm having them a little bit closer to me. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys because yeah, I think everyone struggles with how to, like, where to put their brushes, and this is how I do it, and I really like it. Okay, let's start with the face brushes. My favorite foundation brush is this one by Real Techniques. It's called the buffing brush. I love that it gives me like a really nice coverage. I feel like compared to using a beauty blender, this kind of gives me more coverage, and I really like it. So this is my favorite foundation brush. Then I have this one, which is the Real Techniques contour brush. That's my favorite brush to like contour my jawline with cream products, or to use it for like contouring my forehead. This is my favorite brush. So these are the only brushes I use from Real Techniques, but I absolutely love them. And then of course we have the beauty blender, which I also really like to use for my foundation. Sometimes I use the buffer brush from Real Techniques just to apply my foundation, and then at the end I go in with a damp beauty blender and I just go over it to kind of pick up excess product, and I just feel like it makes my foundation look a little bit more natural. Then now to apply powder all over my face, I like to use this one by MORPHE, which comes in the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill collection. I'm not really sure if this is like a brush which is also sold individually by Morphe. Maybe it is, I'm not really sure. But this is just a really nice big brush. It's in the number G801. I just like a really big brush to apply powder all over the face, and this one does the job. Then for my bronzer, I love this one. It's a little bit dirty because I just used it, but it's also from the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill collection, which is also sold individually just by Morphe. It has the black brush handle, but this is like the one I got from the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill collection. It's in the number G802, and I just really love it. It's a little bit bigger, a little bit fluffier. I like to use like a more fluffy brush for my bronzer, so it gives me more of a softer application. And yeah, I just really like this one. And then for my contour, which is a little bit more of a dense brush, I love this one by Anastasia Beverly Hills in the number A19. I think it's perfect for like contouring. If you use powder contour, it's not too harsh, it's not too soft. I really like this one. I'm using it for years now. Now for applying highlighter, I really love this brush, which is also from the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill collection. This one is in the number G806. I really like this one because it's a little bit more fluffier. It gives more of a softer application. I really love how it feels on the skin. I also like to use it for the forehead. It's just like more of a softer brush, which gives more of a glow from within. And then I have this brush, which is also by Morphe. This is the R36, and I like to use this one more like in the center to give you that blinding highlight pop in the center. That's why I like this brush for. And also when I use this brush, the fluffier one, I like to use it just without spritzing any water on it. I just apply it like this. And I like to use some setting spray on the tinier one and just focus at the center to give you that like really blinding spot in the middle. Then for my blush, I absolutely love this brush from ZOEVA. It's the 127. I'm not really sure why I really love it, but I think it has something to do with that the hairs are white. I feel like it gives me a lot of color payoff, and I'm a person that loves some blush. I'm gonna apply a little bit more as we speak. I just love to have like a really nice pop of blush, and with some brushes, I feel like they don't really give me a lot of color payoff, and with this one, I just fell in love ever since I started using it. I just felt like there was a difference, and it's also really affordable, so if you're searching for a nice blush brush, I would highly recommend this one. And then the last brush, which I really like for the face, is this F35 brush from Sigma Beauty. I used to always use this for underneath the eyes to set my concealer with powder, to set my forehead with powder, but recently I started using the Beauty Blender to bake my face, so I don't really use this brush for that anymore. But I do really like to use this brush to like put it in my handbag to take with me, because my nose always gets oily like around this area right here. So this is a really nice brush to take with you to kind of touch up your face wherever you get oily. You can kind of get a little bit more precise, as if I would take this one with me, for example. It's really big. I just feel like this one is a little bit more handy. So I still use it, but it's more like a brush for when my nose gets oily or anything like that. Or if I want to sweep away some fallout. I would still like not want to miss this brush. I still really love it, but I now just use it in a different way. Okay, so those were my favorite face brushes. I have a lot more which I really like, but if I would go on a holiday, those were the brushes that I would bring with me, because I definitely think those are the favorite ones. So yeah, if you have any other suggestions on nice blush brushes, nice bronzer brushes, let me know in the comments, because I'm always searching for better ones. But I do think if any of you would purchase any of these, I'm sure you guys will like it. What I find really important when it comes to brushes, that they're just really soft. I don't want them to feel like kind of rough on my skin. You know, with some brushes, they just don't feel like really soft on the skin. You can kind of feel, it's not like they're hurting me, but it just doesn't feel right, if you know what I mean. And the ones I showed you guys, they're all really soft and really gentle for the skin. So now that we discussed the face brushes, it's time for the eyeshadow brushes, which I think most people are most excited about, I guess. I think most interested in. I think it feels kind of stupid to say about myself, but I think eyeshadow is like my specialty. So a lot of people always want to know like what my favorite brushes are, because they want to kind of achieve the same result. Well, I think brushes are definitely most important when it comes to eyeshadow. I mean, you can have all the most amazing eyeshadow palettes, but if you have really crappy brushes, you will just not get the nice result which you can get with the palette. So before you invest like in a lot of nice eyeshadow palettes, I will definitely suggest to first invest in nice brushes, because that's just the key to nice eyeshadow. So the first I want to show you guys is this brush by Sigma Beauty, which is the P84. Yeah, I'm saying that correctly. I've been using it so often that some brushes I know the numbers out of my head. Not all of them, but most ones I do. This is a really nice brush to apply your eyeshadow primer. I'm using it in every video because I always start my video with applying eyeshadow primer. And this is my favorite brush to apply. It's like a really tiny kabuki kind of, it looks like a foundation brush, but it's just really tiny. And I just love to use this to kind of apply the eyeshadow primer all over the eyelid. It doesn't leave like strokes. It just applies it really nicely. Then I have two brushes which are my favorite big fluffy brushes, which I like to use for my transition shade in my crease. So that's like the first step of blending I do. The first one is the Sigma Beauty E40. I think this is not really a surprise. I really love this brush. It's just the perfect size for like blending into the crease. And then the other one is by Morphe. It's the M504. It's a little bit bigger, a little bit fluffier. Sometimes I don't really like that because you can work less precise. I think it might be a little bit too big for my eyes, but sometimes when I just want it to be a little bit messy, I don't care. It's just a really big fluffy brush, so it's just really easy. You get like a lot of product in your crease since it's a little bit bigger. But I feel like the E40 is a little bit more precise, but still I like both of them. Sometimes I start with the bigger one, the Morphe one, and then I use the next shade with the E40 because it's a little bit tinier. So because of that, the next shade will be a little bit lower, if that makes sense. I think these two brushes are a really nice combination to have. Then I have two tiny blending brushes, which are the M506 by Morphe and the M507. These are just super tiny blending brushes, and I feel like everyone needs them in their life. They're just unmissable. I think they're one of the best tiny blending brushes out there. I know a lot of YouTubers have them. You just need them in your kit. They're amazing and super affordable. The M506 is a little bit fluffier, a little bit wider, and the M507 is a little bit less fluffy at the end, so that one would be better to do a little bit more focused blending in the crease, and this one to be more like a smudged out blending, if that makes sense. They're just a little bit different, but still both of them are amazing and definitely will recommend to get these. Then my favorite blending brush for the outer V is this one by Sigma Beauty. It's the Sigma Beauty blending brush in the number E25. This one is really nice to pack on eyeshadow in the outer V and then blend it more towards the crease. And also this one by Morphe, which is the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill GH31. It's also really nice also to do a little bit more like precise blending in the crease. So it will be less soft, a little bit harsher, because it's less fluffy than the other ones. Like the fluffier the brush, the softer the application. This one is less fluffy, so it will get like less of a softer effect. If you want like a little bit more darkness in your crease, this one is amazing. Also for the outer V, it's just like the perfect shape. Then for the lower lash line, I love this Sigma Beauty E15 brush, which is the flat definer. I always use this one to really pack on eyeshadow like right underneath the lower lash line. This one is amazing for that. And then to blend out the lower lash line, I love this one by Morphe, which is the E36. So first I apply the eyeshadow with that Sigma flat definer brush, like that. I'm sure some of you have seen me do it very often. And then I take the smudge brush from Morphe and I use that brush to smudge it out. This is also a really nice combination. Then now my favorite brush for applying eyeshadow all over the eyelid is the MAC 242. I've been using it for years. I have been saying it so many times, but I feel like this is the best brush for applying eyeshadow on the eyelid. And also, it's also really nice to use as a concealer brush because it's really flat, so you can work like really precise with it. So it's either nice to apply eyeshadow all over the eyelid, or you can use it to cut the crease or to sharpen up your eyeliner. It's like a really nice brush for like a lot of things. Okay, then we have this really tiny brush, which is also by ZOEVA. It's the 238. What I really like about this brush is that I love to use it for applying black eyeshadow underneath the lower lash line. I'm not really sure what it is with this brush, but I feel like whenever I use this one, I get less fallout. I think it kind of soaks up the black eyeshadow and it sticks on the brush instead of that it falls off the brush immediately. So every time I use black eyeshadow underneath the lower lash line, I always use this brush because compared to other ones I've used, I think this one just works better for me. I will still get some fallout, but it's just less compared to other brushes. So this one is really nice. Also by ZOEVA, super affordable, and it's in the number 238. Now to apply concealer underneath my brows, I have 3 brushes which I really like. This one I recently started using. It's the ZOEVA 233. Really nice one. Then I have the COLOURPOP, which doesn't have a name, but it's like a flat concealer brush. I also really love that one. And the Dose of Colors. There's no name on it anymore, but I do know it's from Dose of Colors. I think I've used it so many times that the name has disappeared. I don't know. But it's their concealer brush. It's really nice as well. So it just depends on my mood. I just grab one of these and they all do the job. Now for a cut crease, I always get asked like, what brushes do you use? What is your favorite brush? Well, this is my favorite brush, but unfortunately it doesn't have a name on it. I got it at a craft store. Definitely check out craft stores because they have amazing brushes, like really tiny detail brushes. But recently I also started using this brush, which is by Makeup Studio. It's a really tiny concealer brush. It's really nicely flat and it's in the number 39. Also really nice to use to cut the crease. And like I said earlier, the MAC 242 brush is also amazing for cutting the crease. I only have one of this brush at the moment and I kind of always want to keep it clean for applying eyeshadow on the eyelids. But I definitely am gonna get another one so I can use like one for concealer and one for eyeshadow, because this one is just so flat. It's just so easy to like really precisely cut the crease. So definitely check out this one because it's really good. Then now I have two brushes left which I want to show you guys, and this one is by Sigma Beauty. It's the angled brow brush in the number E75. So originally it's a brow brush, but I don't give a damn. I use it for my winged liner. I think it's one of the best ones. I just think it's really nice. I don't really know why, because Sigma Beauty also has a brush which is called the winged liner brush, and it looks almost the same, but still I prefer this one, but I don't know why. It just works so well. I don't know, it just works really well. I don't know why. But yeah, I really like this one for the eyeliner. And recently I started using this one, which is by ZOEVA in the number 317. It's called Wing Liner. And I use this for my eyebrows to like create those really tiny strokes of hair. I think this is one of the best brushes because it's so flat, so sharp. It almost hurts, like for real. Whenever I use this for my eyeliner, I feel like it's sometimes too sharp. That's gonna sound really weird, but I don't find it like comfortable to use for my eyeliner, even though it's super sharp and it will give you that really sharp eyeliner, but I don't really like to use it for that. I prefer to use the ZOEVA one for the eyebrows and the angled brow brush from Sigma Beauty for my eyeliner. Okay, and that's it. Those were all my favorite brushes. I have a lot more brushes standing in front of me, but if I had to choose, the ones I showed you guys are my absolute favorite. If I had to throw away all the rest of my brushes, I would be sad. But I know with the ones I showed you guys, I can achieve the results I want. So those are definitely my favorite ones. I really hope I didn't forget to mention any of my favorite brushes. If I do, I will include them with the rest in the description bar. So yeah, this is the end of the video. I really hope you all enjoyed. I hope it was helpful. If you have any other suggestions on brushes you feel like I have to try, then let me know in the comments. And yeah, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy, and hopefully I'll see you all in my next video. Bye guys!